Welcome back to the Metaphysics Podcast. Ready for a deep dive into a concept with, well, tons of potential. It's all about the vortex of creation. Stick with us, and by the end of this, you'll know what this vortex is and get a handle on how to actually use it to shape your reality in some pretty amazing ways.
What I find so fascinating is this vortex isn't some, mystical thing. It's right there in the fabric of the universe, like those laws of physics we see everywhere.
Okay, color me intrigued. But how do we even picture this vortex?
Picture this, a swirling energy field, always moving. All our desires, dreams, all of it resides there, and it reacts to our thoughts and emotions.
So you're saying our feelings, our thoughts, they have like a frequency, and that interacts with this vortex.
Precisely. And that interaction, that's how our lives unfold. Think of it like tuning a radio. Your thoughts and emotions are the dial, and the vortex, it's broadcasting a reality that matches that frequency.
Wow, that's a cool way to see it. But how do we tap into this power? Make it work for us, practically.
It boils down to a 3-step creative process: asking, being given, and then allowing.
All right, walk me through it.
First step, asking. It actually starts with what we don't want. Life throws us curveballs, right? Those, not this again moments. But they actually have a purpose. They help us get clear on what we do want.
So even the bad stuff can shape our desires. Interesting perspective. What happens next?
Step 2, it is given. This is where things get wild. The moment we have a desire, the universe, call it source energy, a higher power, whatever, it instantly acknowledges it. Like placing a cosmic order, your request is in and it's being prepared, energetically speaking.
Hold on, you mean our desires are granted instantly in some way?
You got it. No waiting list with the universe. But here's the tricky part, step 3. Allowing. This is where most people get stuck. Allowing means aligning our energy with that desire's frequency, which already exists within the vortex.
There's the catch. But how do we do that? It sounds so abstract.
Think of it this way. You order a package, but you're constantly checking the tracking, stressing about it arriving, creating all this inner turmoil.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Allowing is about letting go of that. The fear, the doubt, trusting the universe is handling the delivery, and just cultivating feelings of joy, gratitude, and knowing that what we desire, it's already coming.
Okay, trust the process, even when we can't see results.
Yeah.
Got it. But how do we even know if we're, in alignment with the vortex? Any way to tell?
Emotions are key. They're like your internal GPS. Positive emotions, that's being in sync with the vortex. Negative emotions, like worry or frustration, that's resistance.
So feeling stressed or anxious, that's a sign we're off track.
Exactly. Now remember, negative emotions aren't bad. They're just feedback, a little nudge saying, hey, let's adjust course here.
That actually helps, take some pressure off. So how do we get back in the flow? Shift our energy, align with what we want.
There are some great practices for staying tuned to the vortex. Meditation, for one, helps quiet the mind chatter, so we tap into that inner guidance system.
Hitting the reset button on our thoughts.
Precisely. Then there are rampages of appreciation, intentionally shifting focus to all the things we're grateful for, big or small, like a positivity boost for our energy.
Okay, just thinking about that makes me feel lighter.
And then there's focus wheels. It helps us identify and release negative thoughts, those limiting beliefs holding us back, like decluttering your mind to let that positive energy flow in.
Meditation for tuning in, appreciation rampages for a boost, focus wheels to clear the clutter. I like this toolkit. But what's it actually feel like when we're really aligned with the vortex? What changes do we see?
Life starts feeling effortless, joyful. Things fall into place. You might notice more synchronicities, those little winks from the universe that you're on track. Opportunities just flow to you, and your desires manifest, often surprisingly fast and easy.
This all makes so much sense. Anyone else feeling inspired right now? But before we get more into the practical side of things, something's been on my mind. If we're manifesting from our thoughts and feelings, what happens when something triggers a negative emotion? Are we kicked out of the vortex? All that work down the drain.
Fantastic question, and it highlights something really important. Manifesting isn't about being perfectly positive all the time. Life happens. There's contrast. There are situations that trigger those negative emotions.
So it's okay to feel those negative emotions. We don't have to beat ourselves up over a bad day.
Absolutely not. In fact, they're vital to creation. Remember, they help us figure out what we don't want, which then helps us define what we do want.
Okay, so not about suppressing them, but understanding their role. But how do we navigate those moments without feeling like we're, sabotaging our dreams? What's the mindset shift?
Remember those 3 steps. Asking, it is given. Allowing. When contrast hits and those emotions bubble up, acknowledge them. Don't push them away. See them as valuable feedback, helping you refine what you truly desire.
So instead of, oh no, I'm anxious, I'm out of alignment, everything's ruined, it's more like, okay, this anxiety is showing me something. What am I really yearning for?
Exactly. It's about shifting from fear and resistance to curiosity and empowerment. You're not being punished, they're just part of the journey. Guideposts helping you clarify your path.
I love that. So empowering to realize we have a choice in how we respond. Spiral into negativity or use them as fuel to move forward. So what about when we do find ourselves spiraling? What pulls us back into alignment?
Awareness is the first step. Noticing your emotional state, no judgment. If those negative feelings creep in, don't beat yourself up. Gently guide yourself back to a positive place, like tending your inner garden.
And what are some tools for tending that garden? We talked about meditation, appreciation rampages, anything else to shift our energy in those moments.
One of the simplest is shifting your focus. Remember those rampages of appreciation, instant mood boosters. Just start listing things you're grateful for.
So if I'm down, I just think, grateful for this comfy chair, the sunshine, this coffee.
Exactly. It might sound simple, but it's powerful. Focusing on what you appreciate brings up those positive emotions, and that shifts your alignment.
Great tip. What about meditation? How does it help in those negative moments?
It's like a mental detox. Quiets the mind, connects you with your inner being, which is always connected to the vortex. Tuning in to your inner guidance system.
Meditation can be intimidating for some. Advice for beginners.
Start small. A few minutes a day makes a difference. Quiet spot, sit or lie down, close your eyes, focus on your breath. Tons of guided meditations online too. Don't overthink it, just start.
Great advice. So the key is, negative emotions are part of life, but we choose how we respond. Let them drag us down or use them to move towards our desires. It's feedback, not punishment.
Absolutely. It's about being the conscious creator of your reality. You have more power than you think.
And that's a powerful message. So recap, we all have this vortex of creation. Understand those 3 steps: asking, it is given. Allowing and use tools like rampages, appreciation, focus wheels, meditation. We can harness this power to create a life that truly lights us up.
Exactly. And remember, it's not about being perfectly positive 24/7. It's about embracing the full range of human emotions, learning from them, and using them to guide ourselves back into alignment. You are a powerful creator, capable of incredible things.
This has been so insightful. I'm energized and ready to put this into practice. How about you all listening? What are your biggest takeaways from this deep dive into the vortex of creation? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'll be back soon with part 2, where we'll delve deeper into actually applying these principles. Stay tuned.
You know, exploring this vortex of creation, one thing that keeps popping up is like this idea that we got to be happy and positive all the time to manifest stuff.
Yeah, like this pressure to be, I don't know, a walking sunshine dispenser 24/7. But life, it's just not like that.
Exactly. Life's messy, it's unpredictable, all sorts of emotions, good, bad, everything in between. And trying to suppress the negative ones actually backfires.
Like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. You push it down, but it's going to pop back up with even more force.
Perfect analogy. It's about finding that balance. Acknowledging those emotions, but letting them go, not letting them take over.
Okay, I get that in theory. But how do we actually do that? Deal with those negative feelings without, spiraling out of control.
One technique. Just observe the emotion, no judgment. Notice the sensations, the thoughts. But don't fight it, don't overanalyze it. Just observe, be curious, like a scientist looking at something fascinating under a microscope.
So stepping back, becoming a detached observer.
Exactly. And you might find just by observing, it loses its intensity, like watching a storm cloud. You see it, but you don't let it consume you.
Okay, I like that visual. We observe, don't get swept up, but then what? How do we actually release it so it doesn't, linger?
Lots of techniques. What works for one person might not for another. Some folks journal, some talk to a friend, a therapist. Exercise can be great, too, to get that energy out. And then there are things like those focus wheels we mentioned. Really helpful for those deep-seated beliefs and patterns that might be, fueling those negative emotions.
Focus wheels, yeah. Let's talk more about those. How do they work again?
Basically, you pinpoint that negative thought or emotion you want gone. Write it down. Get it out of your head. Then you ask yourself some questions. Questions designed to, challenge that thought, see it from a different angle, and ultimately loosen its grip.
Can you give us an example?
Let's say you're anxious about a presentation at work. You're thinking, I'm going to mess this up, freeze up, everyone's going to think I'm incompetent.
Ooh, yeah, that's rough.
Right. But instead of that downward spiral focus wheel time, write the thought down, then ask, is this even true? Have I messed up every presentation?
Chances are the answer is no.
Exactly. And just like that, you've started chipping away at that negative thought's power.
Okay, we challenge it, see it's probably not true. Then what?
Ask yourself, what's a more empowering thought I could choose to focus on instead?
Instead of, I'm going to mess this up, maybe I'm prepared, I know my stuff, I have something valuable to share.
Exactly. And as you shift to that more empowering thought, your anxiety starts to fade.
That's so helpful.
Yeah.
It's empowering to realize we choose what thoughts we let in. We don't have to be victims to those negative loops.
Exactly. It's about mastering your mind, not letting it master you.
Love that.
Yeah.
So the key is, don't get stuck on the why of those negative emotions. No need to overanalyze, figure out where they came from. Just acknowledge, observe, and then choose to focus on something better, more empowering.
Exactly. Taking back your power. You have the ability to choose your thoughts, and that shapes your reality.
That's liberating. We're not at the mercy of our emotions.
Yeah.
But what happens once we, release those negative emotions? Are we just like sucked back into the vortex like a magnet?
If only it were that simple. The vortex is always responding to our vibration, right? So even after releasing a negative emotion, we got to keep cultivating those positive vibes, like tending a garden, pull out the weeds, but also plant seeds, water, sunlight, the whole deal.
Not just stopping the negative, but actively building the positive. What are some good seeds we can plant to attract those good vibes and align with the vortex?
Gratitude. One of the most powerful. When you focus on what you're grateful for, it shifts your whole energy. Like a beacon, attracting more good stuff.
I can vouch for that. When I'm down thinking about what I'm grateful for, even small things, it instantly changes my mood.
Exactly. And it can be anything. A cup of tea, a sunset, a phone call. The more you appreciate, the more you feel those good emotions, and those emotions fuel the manifestation process.
What other seeds can we plant?
Love, another powerhouse. When you cultivate love for yourself, for others, for the world, your vibration skyrockets. Love, it's like superfood for the soul.
Love that. So to manifest a life full of joy, abundance, all that, we need to nurture those feelings of love and gratitude.
They're the foundation.
This has been so enlightening. I'm ready to start planting those seeds. But before we wrap up this part, I'd love to hear from you all. What are your favorite ways to cultivate love and gratitude? What practices or techniques help you feel more aligned? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And stay tuned for part 3, where we'll explore the practical applications of all this and learn how to use the vortex to manifest those dreams. Welcome back to the Metaphysics Podcast, everyone. Wrapping up our deep dive into the vortex of creation. I bet you're all wondering about putting this into action. Theory's great, but how do we use this vortex to actually, manifest those dreams?
The million-dollar question, right? And it comes up a lot. People want to know about the timeline. How long till those dreams show up?
I get it. We're in a world of instant everything, so naturally, we want that guaranteed delivery date for our desires. So is there one? Can we predict when things will manifest?
No magic formula, no crystal ball, unfortunately. The speed of manifestation, it depends. Clarity of our vision, our belief, how much resistance we're holding on to, even things we're not aware of.
So it's not like ordering online, getting a tracking number and estimated delivery?
Yep, not that simple. The universe works in its own way. More like planting a seed. You nurture it, give it what it needs, but you gotta surrender to how life unfolds.
That makes sense. So patience is key in this whole thing.
Huge. Impatience, that's actually resistance, like digging up the seed every day to see if it's sprouted, disrupting the process.
Great analogy. So how do we cultivate patience in a world that's all about instant gratification? Everything right now, right?
It's tough, yeah. But the shift is from when to how. Instead of obsessing over the timeline, focus on the journey. Aligning with your desires, raising your vibration, becoming your best self.
Enjoying the ride, not just fixated on the destination.
Exactly. And as you do that, manifesting your desires just becomes a natural part of that growth.
I love that perspective. So practically speaking, what steps can we take to stay focused on the journey? Let go of that need for instant gratification. I know it's a struggle for many of us.
Intentions, not deadlines. Instead of, I want a new job by next month, focus on the feeling you want and the actions that align with it.
So not pressuring the universe for a specific date, but saying, I intend to feel fulfilled in my work, and I'm updating my resume, networking.
Exactly. It's about the journey, the energy you're putting out, not a rigid timeline.
Makes sense. Other practices to help us stay on the how, not the when.
Visualization. Powerful stuff. A few minutes each day, visualize yourself already living that reality. Use all your senses. What do you see, hear, feel, even smell, taste? Vivid details, the better. You're impressing it on your subconscious, aligning with its vibration.
Like visualizing my dream home. I'd imagine walking through the door, feeling the sunlight, smelling fresh bread, hearing laughter.
Exactly. A multisensory experience, solidifying the energy of that desire.
I like that. Creating a movie in our minds of the life we want. But what about when things go wrong? Roadblocks, setbacks. Does that mean we messed up, we're out of alignment?
Not at all. Remember, manifestation isn't always a straight line. Twists and turns, that's part of it. Opportunities to grow, learn, and refine those desires.
So challenges aren't failures, but a chance to course correct.
Precisely. Don't get discouraged. Ask yourself, what's this teaching me? How can I grow from this?
The universe nudging us, even when it feels like a detour.
And sometimes those detours lead to something even better than we imagined. Trust the process.
That's good to hear. Like a cosmic GPS, always guiding us, even when we can't see the big picture.
And never forget, you're not alone. The universe, your inner being, countless forces are there to help you realize your dreams.
This has been an incredible journey into the vortex of creation. 3 steps of manifesting: patience, releasing resistance, even turning challenges into opportunities. I don't know about you all, but I'm feeling empowered, excited to explore all these possibilities.
Take what you've learned, start using it. Set those intentions. Visualize, cultivate love and gratitude, and trust the journey. You're a powerful creator. The universe is with you.
This is Dennis and Louise, signing off for now. Keep those vibrations high, and we'll see you next time on the Metaphysics Podcast.